We are Onyx Imaging. We are the highest rated and most reviewed printer service center in Oklahoma.
Hi, my name is John with Onyx Imaging. Today we're going to take a look at this Dell S2815 and we're going to show you some common causes of paper jams. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out the main paper tray here. And the reason being is most of the causes or common causes anyway, for your paper jams are all going to come from your paper tray. One of the most basic ones is if you remove all the paper, you'll see inside this tray there's a couple of little blue levers. Those are to change the size paper that the tray is set up for. So you want to make sure, and it's very important, that the tray is set up for whatever size paper you're using. So in our case we're using a standard 8.5 by 11 letter paper. So you want to make sure that all your indications are set exactly on 8.5 by 11 paper or for letter. So you want to make sure that all your settings are, like I said, just where they're supposed to be, right where there's a mark. Again, make sure both of them are set exactly the way you want. You don't want it to be a little bit above or below the indication. If you do that, you can actually cause the paper to be either too tight or too loose inside the paper tray. And again, that can lead to more jamming problems. So it's very important that you make sure that all the little indicators are actually set on the paper size that you're using. One of the most common causes besides that is adding paper into the paper tray. So one thing that happens is there's usually a little bit of paper inside the paper tray. You go to slide your next stack in, and what happens is it pushes a little bit of the paper into the back of the tray, and you end up with a little bit of a curl, kind of like that, in the back of your paper tray. So what happens is it kind of causes, like we just talked about, making the paper too tight inside of that paper tray, and it doesn't pull through the printer correctly. So it's very important that after you add paper, you check all four sides and make sure that all four sides are nice and even and straight, that you don't have any curl coming up the sides or the front or back. So again, that's all going to make the paper too tight inside of there, and that's going to lead to more jamming issues. Another common cause we find in the paper tray is people overloading the paper tray. So it's really easy to, nobody wants to have to stop in the middle of something and add more paper to the printer. So you grab as big a stack and try to fit as much paper into the paper tray as possible. But what can happen is that you end up putting too much paper inside the paper tray, and it makes it too tight up against the paper pickup assembly to where it has a really hard time pulling the paper through. So usually, if you look at the top of the tray, on one side you're going to find a little indicator for the max amount of paper you can have inside your paper tray. Just a little lip on each side of the printer here, or the paper tray rather. My general recommendation is to leave a little gap between the top piece of paper and this little indicator. If you put it all the way up to the very, very top where it's like bulging against it, and that's definitely when you're going to start seeing some issues. So just as a general rule, so you don't have to worry about it, I would say leave a little bit of a gap between this little indicator on your max fill line and the actual top of your stack of paper, just to give yourself a little bit of a buffer. The last most common reason we see paper jams in the printer are going to be if you've had the printer for a little bit or it's just been a little while since it's been maintenance, is your rollers are worn out and need to be replaced. You can see one of them here in the back of the tray. Just like tires in your car, they get worn down after a while and need to be replaced. And that happens if those first few tips aren't helping with any of your jamming issues. Feel free to give Onyx a call and we can help set that up for you. If you have any questions or concerns, again, please feel free to reach out to Onyx and we'll try to help walk you through any of those. Other than that, I hope this helps and that you have a great day and you're back up and printing. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested in how you can receive free labor on all of your service calls, as well as how to qualify for free printer upgrades, contact us today. We are here for all of your printer and office supply needs.